It's the 7th day of April 2022, and for most Chelsea footballs, it's a day they won't want to remember as soon as quickly talking about the whitewashing, you want to call it, that they suffered last night in the hands of Real Madrid, with Karim Benzema definitely starring in that one with a hat-trick. It's on that note I say welcome to today's edition of the show. I'm Samson Oloyede. Money spinning UEFA Champions League, that's the big one, and that's what everyone is talking about at this point in time for Chelsea Football Club. The struggles both on the field and off the field continues. Over the weekend on the Premier League, they lost by 4-1 at Stamford Bridge to Brentford of all teams. And this time around, still at Stamford Bridge, it had to take Real Madrid to also suffer another 3-1 loss. So over the span of 2 days, 2 games, I beg your pardon, they've lost 7-2 on aggregate, if you want to call it that. But yesterday night, we saw Karim Benzema on fire. 2 brilliant headers to start with, and the third goal as well, capitalizing on the horrible back pass, between Mendy and the defender there to ensure that Real Madrid have a foot in the semi-final. For Chelsea Football Club, the struggles definitely highlights what has been a very difficult 2 months for them, considering their owner, Roman Abramovich, been sanctioned and the club put up for sale, and all of the uncertainties that have mad the club off the field. Definitely, it is now reflecting on the field of play. Edward Mendy, who is a very reliable defense line for them, the last line of defense, was also culpable for the third goal. So Chelsea Football Club trailing by 3-1 in the game that was billed as the clash of the Titans between the defending champions and the most successful side in European football history, talking about Real Madrid. So it's all about Karim Benzema. The hat-tricks put him on 11 goals in the UEFA Champions League for this season, which is just 1 strike behind that of Robert Lewandowski, who has 12 goals this season. So the race for the highest goal scorer continues for this season's UEFA Champions League. And what a season Karim Benzema is having. It is unarguably his best goal-scoring season ever, topping that of the 2011-2012 season, where he scored 32 goals in all competitions. This season, he has smashed that record, having scored 36 goals, more than 36 goals, in fact, in all competitions. So it just shows you how prolific he is this season. And having finished 4th in last year's Ballon d'Or rankings, that talks that this season, Karim Benzema is definitely a top 3 candidate for the Ballon d'Or this season. Let's see how that pans out. But for Chelsea Football Club, they have a whole lot to do in terms of overturning this tie. Let's see how they will be able to achieve that by next week, Tuesday, when the return leg takes place at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, where Real Madrid will be looking to seal their semi-final spot. Now, still talking about the UEFA Champions League, we had another match yesterday night, and that's between Spanish side Villareal, coached by former Arsenal manager Unai Emery, against Bayern Munich. That's the defending champions from the German Bundesliga. And it was a shock 1-0 loss for Bayern Munich, as Villareal were able to capitalize on their proficiency early on to ensure that they got the goal. Danjuma in there, getting the solitary strike in the game for Villareal. They had their chances as well, clipped the post with Gerard Moreno. You had Parejo in the mix as well. It was a match that had chances for both sides, but it was Villareal who were able to bang it. Even Coleman, that's Francis Coleman, the former Arsenal midfielder, scored another goal for Villareal, but that was chalked off for offside by the VAR, that's the video assistant referee. So it could have been worse for Bayern Munich in terms of the scoreline being 2-0, but it's 1-0. It's still dicey considering how prolific Bayern Munich are at the Allianz Arena Stadium, which is the venue for the reverse fixture or the return leg for this encounter. But it's Villarreal with the advantage, and they will be hoping that they can complete the shock next week, Tuesday, when they go to Germany, the Allianz Arena, to be able to take on Bayern Munich. For Bayern Munich, they would also want to bank on their home record. Remember, in the round of 16, having drawn 1-1 against Salzburg, they were able to score over 6 goals in the return leg. So they'll be hoping that their home comfort will get them through. But at this stage, it's Villarreal who have the edge, courtesy of that lone goal by Amat Danjuma. Let's see how that pans out. Now, let's move away from there and talk about the review of matches today. And I'm talking the preview, I beg your pardon, talking about Europa League matches. For Barcelona, the dream continues. The only chance at the title shot, really, because the La Liga is almost done and dusted in terms of Real Madrid winning that. Remember, Barcelona are 12 points behind, though they have a game at hand. But It's all about the Europa League for Barcelona at this point in time, a tournament that they are not used to competing in, but they've just found themselves as a result of the dismal group stages they had where they finished third. So it's Barcelona against Frankfurt, entrant Frankfurt, and for Barcelona, considering the run of form and where they are unbeaten in 14 matches, they will definitely fancy their chances of getting a win or at least a draw in this one. From Frankfurt, the last 6 matches has been topsy-turvy, you want to call it, in terms of form, and they'll be hoping that this time around they're able to get things going. Over the weekend, they drew goalless, yes, at home, and they'll be hoping that they do not repeat that against the Barcelona side that is high-flying. Aubameyang, having joined the club side in January, has been scoring goals for 9 goals in about 14 games, and you also have Ferran Torres in the mix as well. So for Xavi Hernandez, there's just a whole lot going on for the club side at this time. Now, to still talking about the Europa League, you also have Leicester City in action today, and that's Leicester City against PSV Eindhoven. That's the Dutch side, and this one will be taking place at the King Power Stadium, where it's all about Kelechi Iheanacho to get them through in terms of the goals. Remember, their joint top scorer, Jamie Vardy, is battling with a knee injury and is out for some time. So it's all about Kelechi Iheanacho, who got their goal for them against Manchester United over the weekend, that they'll be looking to get the goals. But he's not the only one. You have John Barnes in the mix. You have Mark Albrighton coming in from the flanks. You also have Parkinson in there to ensure that they get the goals, not forgetting Ademola Lookman. So for Leicester City, it's another European League tie, and they'll be hoping that they continue their amazing run when it comes to this season's edition of the show. PSV, definitely a formidable side. The major concern for Leicester City will probably be at the defense line, where you have 1 or 2 injury concerns, and that should be shored up with the depth in squad for Brendan Rodgers and its men. For PSV, it's all to play for. They're still just 2 points behind Ajax when it comes to the Dutch league title this season, and definitely this is another way to play. Remember, PSV made a major announcement during the course of the week, announcing that their former player, the former Manchester United legend, Ruud van Nistelrooy, will become their new manager from next season. So you should expect that PSV goes into this on the back of that good news and a bit of momentum. Let's move away from there now and still talk about another English club side that is participating at the Europa League this season, and that's David Moyes' West Ham United. West Ham playing so well this season in Europe, and they're also pushing for a spot, talking about UEFA Champions League football, currently 6th when it comes to the Premier League standing. So West Ham will be hoping to continue the Cinderella run, you want to call it, but they have a very stern test against Olympique Lyon, the French side, as they try as much as possible to seal what will be an amazing semi-final run at this year's Europa League title competition, I beg your pardon. So it's West Ham, no injury worries for David Moyes going into this. You still have your regular suspects, Antonio Mikel in there trying to lead the attack line. There's Mark Noble in the mix. You have Suchek as well, and not forgetting Jared Bowen, who would all be looking to get themselves on the score sheet and ensure that West Ham continues that great run. West Ham were able to knock out Sevilla, and they'll be hoping that Lyon goes the same route in terms of being less formidable team, I beg your pardon. Now, the final match we'll be reviewing when it comes to the Europa League this today will be that of Leipzig against Atalanta. That's definitely a cracker. Leipzig, a formidable force in the German Bundesliga. On the other hand, Atalanta struggling domestically when it comes to the Italian Serie A, but making waves when it comes to the European scene this season. Atalanta didn't have a very good Champions League run as well, but they're now in the Europa League, and definitely they'll be pushing for that. It's Leipzig who will be at home, and you can be rest assured that the likes of Nkunku will look at getting them more goals for them this season. So you have Nkunku in the mix, while for Atalanta, it's all about Malinowski and Luis Muriel as well to lead the lines. It's a difficult match, very difficult to call in terms of who gets this, but I'm sure both sides will definitely fancy their chances of getting a goal. Leipzig, who are also at home, having come back from that impressive 4-1 win over Borussia Dortmund at the weekend, will definitely go into this flying in high confidence. And that's about it when it comes to European League football this time around.